Hey everyone, welcome back. Fancy seeing you here. Didn't think I'd see you back this soon, but hey, we are back. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, co-host of Mad Boxing or the Mad Boxing Show. With me, as always, my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapachet. Andrew, holy fuck! Wow, we're back. This was a lot quicker than we thought we were going to be back. But hey, we kind of anticipated the announcement was coming. So,
Yes.
would you like to break the news, or what would you like for me to break the news?
No, go ahead. I mean,
All right.
the
Okay.
boxing world
The
knows.
boxing world knows. No, yeah, I
Let,
gotcha.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
break it. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Bam, we got it. May 4th, Cinco de Mayo weekend. Canelo is back. And officially, at least that's what every report is saying, although I haven't heard Canelo or Munguia say it themselves, but every report is saying we have Canelo versus Munguia Cinco de Mayo weekend. Now, have they said where yet? Did they already say Vegas, or they just
No,
said boom?
no, I haven't seen. I have not seen a location yet. Really, listen. We know the fight's gonna be with Munguia, right? The bigger news today was the fact that PBC is not even involved anymore. He
Mm-hmm.
left. So you
Mm-hmm.
know how we were talking yesterday about Al Heyman and Golden Boy working together, and then you throw all that away. You know, Eddie
Right.
Hearn and Al Heyman working together, throw all that away. He left.
Mm-hmm.
Real bad sign right now for the PBC platform. Now there's rumors that Terrence Crawford is gone.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, we can't forget Crawford as well. But yeah, that's what it sounds like according to what these reports are saying. He himself is a free agent now. Was it just a one fight deal with them, or was it, like because there was that the contract was that there's supposed to be a rematch, right? There's a rematch clause with Spence and Crawford that has fallen through apparently to the point where now we've seen Spence, tweet the peace sign saying like I'm out, so no rematch. If that's the case, then really there's no real reason for Crawford to stick with PBC unless they, maybe behind the scenes offered him someone else, and he's like, no, fuck this. If it ain't Spence, I'm bouncing, and he's gone. So just like that, no Crawford at PBC. Just like that, no Canelo at PBC.
We said yesterday the face of that company was Benavidez and Tank, and look at where they're at. Today, the two guys that we felt were using them have left. Look, this is all about the Amazon deal. This is all about the Amazon deal.
Oof, yeah. Right.
Terrence Crawford wouldn't fight for $10 million, you guys. And now you're telling them, hey, we kind of don't have any kind of money guaranteed.
Right.
But I tell you what, if you sell a bunch of pay-per-views, we're going to do really good. Come on. No way.
No,
And,
that,
and,
that's
and
that's they need. If there's no guarantee, these guys are gonna be. It's gonna be up in the air. Hell no. What
You
guy's
could
gonna want
only
to do with
you could
that?
only get people like Raleigh Romero. I feel sorry. I keep
Yeah.
fucking with
You keep
Raleigh. I
throwing him
know
under the bus.
he's a good guy. I keep messing with
uh,
him, but I'm gonna keep that he you guys guaranteed money
yeah.
is what you're fighting for. That's what everyone's playing this professional sports for is the
Mm.
guaranteed money.
You can only lead them to the water, right? You can't make them drink the fucking water at this point. So, yeah, kind of feeling it for Romero there. But wow, I'm reading some of the stuff that I think Mike Coppinger wrote. Right, Crawford is reportedly now a free agent. It's claimed that Crawford signed a one-fight deal with Al Heyman's PBC for Errol Spence, and the scheduling window for the rematch clause has expired. So meaning is the promotional. He is a promotional or broadcaster free agent. So I guess yeah, that's what Mike Coppinger is reporting. I guess he basically signed a one fight deal with Spence and then left the window open for a potential rematch. That already expired. So I guess that he's gone. Wow, just like that, everybody was like. I mean, for a quick second, we were, giving props to fucking PBC, like, oh, damn, all right, well, they made it
Yeah.
onto Amazon, like, holy shit, they found their footing somewhere with Amazon. Then we found out, according to at least Oscar and Bernard, that there's no guaranteed money there, and just like that, people are bouncing. And
People
I,
are leaving.
I mentioned this, and I mentioned this yesterday as well. As like, could this lead to people bouncing? Could this the people like fighters having hesitation to sign with PBC in the future because of this deal? And then literally, 24 hours later, now we find this out.
You got your answer.
I know.
You got your answer. Now the thing is,
too good for them.
the thing with Terrence is, and I know we've talked about this, I think Terrence finds his way back to Bob Arum. I really do. Bob has the Lopez fight. He has a Josh Taylor fight in the UK. They would do great numbers.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bob has Haney too, right? So Haney.
Yeah. See, I forgot. I thought Haney was with Eddie, but you're right. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, all the roads lead to Top Rank, and Top Rank has had trouble with their fighters before. Telefimo being one of them, and he's come back and they were fine. I think Terrence Crawford, that $10 million guaranteed purse, is looking pretty damn good right now, right? Mm-hmm. And we know he's going to get a raise. He beat Spence. Now the 10 will probably be 15 million or whatnot, but it's looking pretty good right now. The Disney platform, ESPN, come on. So if he goes to Golden Boy, they have a bunch of B-side fights. They don't have really an A fight for him like a Telefimo Lopez would. Mm-hmm. And because Bob has already worked with Al Heyman, right? The Klitschko, the Fury and Wilder made great money for both people. Mm-hmm. So you would see if that Zoo fight really does get hot, I can see Bob working a Tim Zoo in with to get get him to try to unify up at 154. Mm-hmm. So I think that's even still there for Terrence Crawford if he goes back to Bob Arum, because they have a history of working together. And now you think Terrence Crawford has learned his lesson that you do need two promotional companies involved with these big fights?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I want to say no, because I mean, I don't know. Fighters are they're stubborn, and I had used this analogy earlier when you and I were texting. Like I get the impression that Crawford is to Top Rank and Bob that like super fine chick that you want to get with, you want to hook up with, but you know that she's gonna have that damn attitude. She's gonna be a freaking headache. So you're like, okay, do I really want it? Is it worth hooking up with her just to deal with the damn headache? Like I kind of get the impression that that Bob and Top Rank is like, damn, is it really worth the headache? Like, yeah, maybe if after beating Spence, because we know after beating Spence, Crawford, if he does come to Top Rank and says, hey, I'm not a $10 million dude, I'm a 15, like you said, $50 million, is Bob going to be like, okay, well, yeah, you beat Spence, you went across the street, cool, all right, sure. Or is there potential, granted, that seems like a quick, short-term, like, cash grab, I guess. It'd be like, all right, cool, bam, we got Terrence back, we can make a big money fight, but then looking long-term, is he going to bring up those same damn headaches? He sued them for freaking, or attempted to sue them for, like, racism or whatever. It's like, you think that doesn't leave a bad taste in your previous employer's mouth? Of course it does, So you would hope that he has learned his lesson and, has humbled himself to some degree, but I get the impression that he probably not, even now more so since he beat Spence. So, I mean, who else? Matchroom? Who? Connor Ben? Who the fuck else? Is going to be there for him there? I don't think he has too many choices left, man.
Everyone better learn off of Berlanga, Golovkin, Canelo. Matchroom isn't the place, right? Unless you want to fight a bunch of Europeans.
Right.
Berlanga now is being talked about as an opponent for Canelo. I don't see it. I still, you guys, I'm gonna still stay behind that 35 million. You ain't getting close to Canelo unless you bring him that money. Is the zone that stupid? Is that, bro? They are not making 35 million back on Berlanga.
No,
they're not.
No, they're not. I mean, it's damn, I don't know. I mean, he definitely is.
Say you have to pay the kid $2 million, right? You're at 37 million now. You know what I mean? Like the hole just gets bigger and bigger. We haven't even talked about the undercard yet. You add another 2 million, maybe if you want to go cheap, 2 million, 1.5 on the undercard, because they probably get a bunch of nobodies. But it's really hard to say that fight. I think This fight is about Munguia, and then I think he becomes a free agent again, and he goes out there and he sees what's next. I think that's where Canelo's kind of at in his career. I don't see him signing a multi-fight deal. I mean, hell, they said the PBC was a 3-fight deal, and look at what that turned into. Turned into a 1-fight deal. So, do those contracts, I guess when they both parties know that there's no money in the pot, it's easy to break a contract. I see DAZN and Canelo doing that after the Munguia fight. If the Munguia fight does not bring them 35 million, which it's going to be a tough sell too. It's all hard. If Canelo, I mean, right now they're going off of Golden Boy, and Munguia is going to make the other side of that pot.
Yeah,
they really are. DAZN will bring their half, but with Al Heyman not even being involved, this is about Eddie Hearn and Golden Boy now working together to try to make this money back. So they have pay-per-view, but then they need Munguia and Oscar and them to go out there and sell their side too. So the Mexicans, we all buy into this fight, which I think we are, but it's not Barrera Morales, and we need to try to get it there. You know what I mean? They need to do whatever they can to try to get this fight there, because I don't see the bosses at DAZN signing this check twice if it doesn't make them a profit. And it better be a big profit too. Again, they're not signing another 35 million over for 2 million. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
So I that Berlanga, I'm giving the sideways look to that one. I just don't see it unless DAZN is, maybe they're just ran by some of the most fucking craziest, because they're already in the hole. They said they're in the hole 6 billion. You know what I mean? Maybe these guys.
They might as well at this point. They're like, hey, let's just fucking go for broke since we're already, in the red.
Since we're gonna walk one day anyway.
Yeah, in the near future, probably. I don't know how much longer, but in the near future. And then, there's already been, the storyline has already been set up. I know that Berlanga wanted to come in with that angle of Puerto Rico versus Mexico, but what's his name? Munguia beating John Ryder and doing so in impressive fashion. He has at least that claim to say, well, I did what Canelo didn't. Although knowing Ryder, he probably
he's a champ.
Yeah.
And Munguia he's got
some.
He has the little belts. You know what I mean?
Belts, I guess. Yeah. But and that was the thing. It's like, all right, well now hopefully we were looking forward to, at that time prior to today, a potential showdown between them. And I know Oscar tried, you saying that, comparing them. We need one of those, like you mentioned, Barrera Morales fights or Marquez and Vasquez type of fights. I don't know if this is going to be that. I mean, definitely not on one side at least, but we're going to have a Mexican shootout. We are going to have it on Cinco de Mayo weekend. I don't remember the last time, Canelo fought a Mexican, and, he even said himself that he wasn't going to at one point. He's already retracted that several times over. So, that's old news. But all right, I'm down. It's been a while since we had a high profile one like that. And I mean, looking forward to it. I haven't seen any sort of finality as far as like whether it's going to be, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be DAZN pay-per-view. We're assuming. We don't know where it's going to be at yet, any of that information. All we know as of right now is that it's looking like Munguia over Berlanga, and it's going to be, Canelo went with DAZN and Eddie Hearn. So we don't know if it's a multi-fight deal there. That part we don't know either. So there's still a lot of stuff that hasn't been detailed or ironed out. That's just looking like the direction that they're going. So everything is still kind of up in the air, but we're running out of time because it's already late February. We need to fucking get this shit rolling already, right? And just like we said this weekend, huh?
Oscar got we think it's official.
Yeah, we think it's
official. It sucks because we gotta wait for so. Yeah, this seems official.
This is where Lee would come in and says like hashtag fight not made, right?
Not signed. That's right.
Not signed. There you go. Fight not signed. So it's like, yeah, I get it, but we're close. It seems as though like it's gonna have to be a real rug pull if this fucking fight doesn't go through.
Right. You watch more Mexican television than I do. Is Munguia, does he move the needle at all on his fights? Do they show replays on the news?
Not obviously like Canelo, but they do. I have seen it. The guy is from Tijuana, so or at least was raised there. So he He moves the needle. He doesn't do the whole, 0 to 60, but it moves. It does. It does. Whether or not that's enough, I don't know, but but definitely vibrates the fucking goddamn thing. So, whether or not, again, that's going to be enough to actually, like, get that into like fourth, fifth gear, I don't know. But I've watched, because
have they been waiting for this fight? Has this been big talk? Like when Chavez, Juan Manuel Marquez, when they're on ESPN Deportes, have they ever brought up the Munguia?
They have, and
okay,
it's actually good. Kind of angered me and my dad, because we don't think Munguia's on the level. We're like, no, come on, so talk about some other people. Don't talk about, what I'm saying?
That's good though, yeah.
But they most definitely have mentioned, especially with the most recent win over Ryder. So they have definitely mentioned them. I do remember them a couple of times, and specifically. Like Chavez, and he's just taking too many fucking blows to the head at this point. Some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth sometimes, I'm like, dude, relax. But
junior or senior?
No, senior, because he's the one that's doing like commentating sometimes on some of these cards, and then like post-fight interviews ringside. So they have a few times they've brought up Munguia, especially recently, because he's still fresh in our minds from that Ryder fight. So yeah. I will say they have indeed mentioned him in regards to potentially fighting and challenging Canelo, to the point where they think it's going to be a pretty, even fight. At least they think.
Well, that's good for this fight, because we need the Mexicans to show up. They're the ones that are going to push this card. We know that, right? Yeah. Munguia is not really known outside of the Mexican American fan base. He wasn't like big on ESPN, or wasn't big on HBO. You know what I mean? He was like a DAZN baby, really.
Yeah.
And we know that their platform's not that big, right? So we're depending a lot on his bloodline to bring these buys out. Which, if you have a good fight, that's all you need, right? Texas, California, they can give you 300, 400,000 buys right there. You know what I mean? If the fight is good.
Sure.
Then we haven't even gotten into anywhere else. It's just those two. So Canelo's a face. Munguia's undefeated. Munguia's he's a 2-division or 3-division champ.
And it's funny that you mentioned HBO earlier, because he came in right at the tail end of when HBO was bouncing. Because I remember he defeated the dude who fucking.
And that could be true, but he's not known from HBO.
Not,
you know what I mean?
Right.
He's not like Barrera boxing after dark. You know what I'm saying?
No, that shit. No, right. He beat the dude who beat Cotto. I forget his name right offhand, but the guy who last beat Cotto, Munguia came and whooped his ass hard at 154. If I'm not mistaken, it might have been 160, but I'm almost sure it was 154. And so he got himself a legitimate belt there. Then he moved up to 160 and got some secondary belts. And he's fought at 168, so for a few fights already. But I don't know if he has any secondary belts at 168. I know for sure he got a legit one when he beat the dude who beat Cotto. I'm trying to remember his name right offhand, but Ali something or other. But he's fought in 3 divisions. He's got himself, like, as a matter of fact, I don't even think he got a belt ever at 160, even like a secondary belt. I think he just carried the one that he fucking had the whole time. How legitimate is that? I don't know, but he's 3.
I'm trying to think of the Ali guy. I remember that. That was an upset, right?
Yeah. He got fucking smoked,
I remember
dude.
that.
He came in and Munguia came in with that left hook and dropped him hella times. It was bad. He whooped his ass. Yeah. And this is the dude who, I don't even, to be quite honest, I don't even think he beat Cotto, but that we can go into that later. But that's when Munguia kind of came into like the consciousness of fans, and it was on HBO, so that platform is different than fucking DAZN. But he's basically a DAZN baby, frankly. That's kind of where he made the rest of his name, and got to the point where he's at right now. But across 3 weight classes, I don't know what belts he captured, if any. I know he got one at 154 for sure. Besides that, I don't know. But yeah, it significant enough to where he's got 40 wins now, right? And I don't know how many KOs, but that's gonna look great on the poster, right? 40-0.
Yes. No. 40-0, and maybe a phone call during the night that gave him a second title. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Something along those lines.
But Munguia, look, he's been waiting for this his whole life. This is his moment now. He's got Canelo coming. Canelo's on the other side of his youth, right? He's coming down now. So if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen now. Munguia just got to go and set it off. It's gonna be a hell of a fight too. If he comes in fucking ready to throw down, it's gonna be a hell of a fight because Munguia could take a punch. He could take a punch and he can deliver one. So yeah, it'll be a good fight. Very excited, but yeah, kind of crazy, man. You know, we keep saying on this show, boxing's not in a good spot, and I'm gonna say that again today. It just seems like it
Yeah.
just seems like the deal that they made with Amazon is not even a deal. It almost seems like they made that like over a dinner at a party or something. Like, hey, you know, I got some pay-per-view fights. Hey, if you want to put those pay-per-views on my platform, that'd be cool. Yeah, hey, thank you for that. You know,
It's
no
like, here,
money.
sign on this napkin right here. Yeah, sign this paper towel.
Yeah,
we got a deal.
like no guaranteed money. Just you can use our. It's just weird, man. It's a real weird deal. It's something that like you said. I think now that Canelo and Terrence Crawford jumped ship, I can't see fathers and young fighters out there like, oh yeah, hey Al, where do I sign that at? So we're gonna get 2%. What?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
What?
Al's gonna have to use. I mean, whatever, he's got some power of persuasion. You clearly see it with Rolly, right? It's like, yeah, come over here, figure it out.
He needs to go strike a deal. Al Heyman needs to go strike a deal with someone who's gonna pay them.
I'm getting the impression that Al's gonna go the direction of Don King and like pull the race card. Anytime there's like a young up and coming black fighter, is gonna be like, hey brother, I'll come and help you. You this against everybody else. That's like probably the only card he can pull at this point. Because if these guys are, because it's been said several times before, a lot of these new boxers, they're businessmen. They're not boxers per se or fighters. They're businessmen. Cool. Well, if that is the case, and they're coming into the sport with some head on their shoulder, and they see that there's no guarantee on some sort of fucking pay-per-view, or fights with Amazon Prime and Al, they should be like, no, thanks, man, but no, we'll go somewhere else. Because that's really what else can, or like you said, he goes to strike a deal somewhere.
Right, he has to, because they're not going to answer the phone. Right now, you know what PBC is going to start getting? They're going to start getting voicemails a lot.
Yeah.
Guys not even answering the phone. Why answer? It's not. There's nothing guaranteed on the other side. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm risking my life in the ring, and you want me to fight for possibly I can make this much? No way. Not when the other 3 companies are giving guaranteed checks, man.
Yeah.
No way. He has to strike a deal.
So, because I was going to ask you that, like, where does that leave the zone? Because part of this what we're doing today's video is kind of a 3-party. It's like, boom, we got Munguia and Canelo, right?
Yep.
Boom, Canelo and Crawford to leave PBC. Fuck, where the fuck does that leave PBC? So that's kind of where I wanted to segue to, is like, where the fuck does this leave PBC? Where the hell are they now? Because are we gonna have to wait and see how well these pay-per-views do?
Yes. No, for reals. Tank Davis is the face of their company. Mm-hmm. They got to see what happens with him and Frank
Martin. Yeah.
Martin. Thank you. I was gonna say Warren again. Frank Martin.
Yes.
And then David. Look, David needs to get out of the 175 division. There's no money there. There's no fucking money there. So I don't know what they're doing there, but Bevo and Better Beef, they're fighting on free television. These guys have the best resumes in boxing, and they're fighting on fucking free television. Like, David, you better get out of that. You're fighting on a free platform against 2 champs that are fighting on not fighting on pay-per-view their damn selves. Mm-hmm. That's just a whole bunch of bad shit going around. How's that supposed to add up to a pay-per-view fight? David needs to get back to the super middleweight division. He needs to get back there. Charlo needs to call Berlanga. You called that fight yesterday. I still think that is a beautiful fight for them too right now. They can make money on that fight. But no, the Benavidez versus Alexander, that's not going to do anything. It's not moving the needle. Listen, him versus Caleb Plant didn't break 100,000 buys, you guys. That was freaking Caleb Plant, one of the most known fighters in the sport right now. And you're telling me some guy that has fought in 3 times in 4 fucking years is going to move the needle with David now all of a sudden? Caleb didn't, but this guy is. This is crazy to think this. And it's crazy for David Benavidez and his father and their team to think that that's the right route to go. The right route to go is to put your feet to the fire. Sure. Who's the big? If I'm not getting Canelo, what's the next biggest fight? You did it once with Plant, right? And he did it with Andrade. You know what? Let's stay on that path. Let's stay on that path. Get the next big guy and knock his ass down too. They're doing fine. Stay on, but to go to 175 and fight this guy for nothing, his numbers are going to look bad. He's not going to do good when he comes back to negotiate with Canelo. If he gets another round with Canelo, they're going to say your numbers suck. Look at what you did. Oh, well, that guy hadn't fought in 4 years. That's not our problem.
Yeah,
right?
Why the fuck you fight him? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. You know?
And you know what? You would figure that it would be easy to make the Charlo fight. They're PBC guys. They're still in-house. Like, why wouldn't that be the logical step?
Well, for PBC, they ain't got no money. Right now, for them, they ain't got no money. Someone needs to call Berlanga. Berlanga can
Berlanga, pick up the phone. Fuck.
The Puerto Rican Americans in the East Coast will tap into that fight. Right? They will tap into that. Berlanga used to be hot over there. You put David Benavidez on the other side of that ring. Excuse me. I believe that fight gets hot. The pay-per-view will do better than Caleb Plant and Andrade. Berlanga versus Benavidez right now. While Berlanga's fight is still hot, they need to start talking about that and see what the media, what the fans, you know what I'm saying? What if you start having the whole hip-hop world like, gonna get front row to that one, right? Because both of these guys were pretty known also in the hip-hop world. You know what I mean? Like, all you need is a few tweets from those guys, and that shit goes viral. Now this Mike Tyson made Benavidez the Mexican monster overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes that's all you need. Are you still with me, Miguel?
I am, yes.
Okay. Yeah, you're frozen, damn it, on your screen, but I'll keep going. So sometimes that's all you need. So hopefully, what happened, Miguel?
Yeah, I was trying to get like off. I turned it off and I turned it back on. I don't know.
Okay.
Am my audio still there?
Your audio's still there, yes.
Okay, cool. I just tried turning off the camera and turning it back on to see if that kind of loosened the things up, but anyway, please, I'm still here.
All right. Yeah, so no, that if I'm David Benavidez, he can't even get out of it. He already has a fucking fight. Yeah. You know, we're going to see
he's already in knee deep, yo. He's already knee deep in that shit.
We're going to see what the future holds for those guys. Not saying I don't like what's going on, but they kind of did this to themselves. A lot of the PBC guys, and not David Benavidez, but like the Charlos and you know, the whole welterweight division, how they held out on Terrence, all of those dudes should have made Terrence Crawford checks. They really should have. If you didn't make a Terrence Crawford check in this era and you were in the welterweight division, it's your fault, not Terrence's, because he wanted to fight everyone. Nobody wanted to fight him. They kind of brought it on themselves. You know, they all got stuck in this this mind frame that they could fight anybody and make $1 million, and you know, and then when they fight the champ, they're supposed to make 10 million, and it just doesn't work that way. And they're all learning it the hard way now. And now it seems like the company's out just totally not doing good financially. And look, I'm only saying this, guys, because you've seen it on the internet, and now you're seeing it through the actions of fighters. Most notably, the two faces of boxing that just walked away from the company. Okay, these guys had multiple options at this company. Terrence Crawford could fight freaking Spence again. He could fight Zoo. He could move up and fight whoever. He has multiple options. Canelo could fight Benavidez. He could fight Charlo. Multiple options. Yet they both walk? Come on. But that ain't a red flag. And all of you guys out there that are calling him a duck, you guys are PBC. They're PBC nut huggers, bro. Seriously. Yeah. You motherfuckers are so down that rabbit hole, you can't find your way out. It's still not them.
It's like it's their identity now, dude.
So
the second it gets challenged, The second it gets challenged, I wanted to read this report or a tweet I think it was that Rick Glazer put out, right?
Okay.
Basically reporting that Canelo's returning to the zone. So it says he says, I'm fully vindicated. I guess he said it at one time that it was going to happen. I don't know. It says Canelo is no longer with PBC. All right. PBC didn't have the money for escrow. Has all the con, I don't know what that means, has all the con on PBC's part, despite claims to Canelo that they did. I'm not sure what that means. Canelo now headed back to the zone, another nail in the coffin for PBC, losing a big money generator like Canelo and PBC's reputation taking a further huge hit. So, yeah, I don't know what some of the stuff they said, that he says there, but and essentially what he's saying is another nail in the fucking coffin. They're already on their deathbed. They're like, about to flatline. I kind of get the impression that they're really banking that these these Amazon pay-per-views are really gonna pull it through or pull them through. I don't know what the fuck. They're really banking on it, man.
Oh, listen. They're on the biggest platform boxing's ever seen as far as pay-per-view, correct?
Yeah.
We've never seen a house reach as many as what they're, all right. So they do have that side, and you might be right. Whatever little money's left in the account might be on that party for Tank Davis's pay-per-view night. You might be right. They might be cracking bottles at night, champagne bottles, thinking, all right, boys, Tank is going to bring us out right now, 100 million.
Exactly. They're gonna bring us into the green.
We hope. We hope, but
for the sake of the sport, for fuck's sake.
The fact that I keep forgetting his opponent's name is not going to help them sell that fight.
Just think, it's two first names, Frank and Martin.
Frank Martin.
It's like Monica. What the fuck's her name?
And Monica, I know I watched the fight with Ali. I know I seen because that Ali kid, he was a character himself. So I know I watched that fight, but just doesn't seem like he deserves a shot at Tank. I know he's great. He's got great skills versus all the little, I'm gonna say C grade fighters. But you're talking about the A+ now. Like, you know how high of a jump they sent this kid? Come on. I got to keep going back to you. Munguia at least had multiple titles put on him. Now, I'm going to keep saying multiple. One of them might have been fake, but at least he was in those positions. He won the titles. He's undefeated. Yeah. Like, he's got a lot more on his resume than the other two guys that we're trying to
He's main evented several, fights, several fight cards.
The Alexander kid for David would have been a good fight. What was it, 6 years ago almost?
Yeah.
When he first beat Stevenson, and not because he beat Stevenson the way he did. Nobody will I don't like seeing that. No one wanted to see that. Right. But that's a huge win that day. Take away the part of how it ended. Let's just say, because he won the title from Stevenson was one of the bad dudes in the boxing when that fight, when he loses his title to that guy. So on that time, that fight would have been great. We're fucking 6 years later, and he had a 4-year layoff. 4 years. He's not Sugar Ray. Is he Sugar Ray?
No. Hell fucking no. Jeez.
Well, you could have said maybe. He said, no, hell no.
No. It shouldn't even be mentioned in the same conversation.
It's amazing he comes back and fights Hagler, 5 years after retirement? Like that?
He fought Hagler in '89. I forget what his previous fight or his last fight was prior to that.
I believe it's 5 years, dude.
Because he did do like a comeback, right? Even though he won, he got dropped on his ass or something, and then he was like, okay, I'm really done this time. And then of course he wasn't. Then he came back and he beat Hagler. But he had some I forget.
Are you one of those? You believe Leonard lost or won?
No, I think he lost.
No,
you don't beat
family.
The champ. Wait, come on.
My whole family thought Hagler won. When I finally got old enough and I went into the dark room and I watched a fight by myself.
Yeah.
I said, I don't see what the argument is. I don't know, Grandpa. And then my grandpa's like, I don't want to talk to you. I was like, man, Grandpa, why'd he keep letting them? He kept letting them score those little points, man.
I steal the rounds. He kept letting them steal the rounds.
I'm not a fan of that. I don't. Chavez kind of did that with Whitaker. You know, when he was just doing this shit and letting Whitaker hit him to the face, even though I still thought Chavez won, you can't give that avenue. You know what I mean? Because if they're already voting against you, guess what? They're really voting against you now. You know what I mean? Believe me, Mayweather would have lost to Oscar if he fights him 4 years before he did. All those little shots that Oscar was landing, they would have been like, oh, HBO would have been like, oh, those are points. Oh my God. He's just allowing the beat down to the ribs. You know they would, because Oscar makes more money than Floyd in their prime. You know that. So yeah, dude. No, I was like, oh, Hagler, you can't keep letting them do this at the end of almost every round. And some of them, hey, Sugar Ray did take off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You see the power, like just when they exchange punches. I mean, we're talking even if Sugar Ray had already fought at 154 prior to this. Like, dude, he was basically still a 147 pounder, dude. And like, you see the punches, you see how Hagler barely budges when fucking barely, like he just then when he lands up, he like shoves it back. I was like, those are way more impactful powers.
He's like a cat, and the cat.
For real, dude. It's like, it's just, and then fucking Hagler just did. They're like, there's a good things and bad things about those fighters that walk forward, like Gennady Golovkin. Like, they walk forward, you don't have to look for them. They're gonna be right in front of you. You don't really have to go, trying to chase them down. But they're kind of giving themselves away. They're calling, it's like, all right, I'm gonna crack you on the way in. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what happened to him. Fucking Leonard, stole the rounds at the end, and I think they even had who was it? I think he had his cornerman tell him 30 seconds to flurry to have the fucking referees remember. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. I just don't think you should win. Number one, you don't win a fight that way. Number two, you don't beat the man of the weight class that way. But I'm of the opinion that Hagler won that fight still.
Oh, so. Alexander's not Sugar Ray. I don't like that fight. I think it bombs. You know what fight we're missing? There's another fight to bring him out of the green. Keith one-time Thurman, baby.
Wait, for who?
To bring PBC out of the deck.
What?
You don't think Keith Thurman and Sue? Nope, not a positive.
They will, if nothing else, it will keep them from being too far into the red. It might bring them up, but it will not break. They won't break even. They'll be closer to breaking even, but they won't break even. That, like you said, they're really banking on Gervonta to do it. So it's like, all right, this if this is like breaking even and they're here, yeah, it'll get them here. Thurman and Sue, but they're expecting Tank to take them over. I mean, we saw Thurman's attempt at becoming a character, not that great, right? At the press conference. So I can't blame them. They're trying to generate interest so people would go over to this shit. As a matter of fact, I think I just saw PBC recently actually posted on their Instagram the poster of the thing, right? So it's official. Although I didn't see a price on the damn pay-per-view anyway yet, so I still don't know how much it's going to be. Not that I would pay it regardless, but Thurman and Sue, no, hell fucking no, dude.
They really should try to move Raleigh Romero and Pitbull into that main event role. I think Raleigh Romero can attach to the fans better than either of the other guys. In the fight poster, do they have the undercard on it at all?
Well, not on the fight poster. I mean, just it has the two main fights, right? The main event with Thurman and Sue, and then right below him, Rolly and Pitbull.
Oh, so it does have Rolly and them on it, though?
Well, them, yes, them specifically.
Well, that's good. No, that's good because they need help. They need help, and look, we're over here laughing, but we have 3 pay-per-view cards announced by a company, and we're laughing at 2 of them. You know what I mean? It's a bad look right now. I think De La Hoya and them, they knew something. I wish.
This is what it looks like in case, I don't know if you can see it there, but.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right, so that's very.
Yeah, it's something, right?
Yeah, you almost need that. You need that, and now you need to get the microphone in front of Raleigh Romero a lot more, and you need to get Pitbull over on the Mexican television side, and he needs to start selling the fight. Tell his ass to stop being so damn quiet. You want to make some money, you need to start talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Raleigh.
Kind of
Raleigh
in the good right now.
Yeah, Raleigh could sell a fight. He can sell it. He might need some he might need some guidance. I don't know how you control him. I don't know him that good, but you could tell he's a little bit of a knucklehead. So he needs guidance, but he's pretty quick and it looks like he'll do good in front of a microphone. But without it, I don't see the PBC lasting too much longer. I gotta say, and I know we've said this before. And I think it's been a slow decline. And, Rick Glacier has been on the same side as us about remember I told you that dude and me it's kind of a weird relationship that I had. Me and him were friends on social media. Mm. And then one day we just weren't. And it was just weird. Me and him thought a lot alike, dude. You see, he's over here, you see right away, he's like, oh, I told you this was all going to happen. And that was kind of me when the PBC first fell out, right? Mm-hmm. But he's very knowledgeable on this, and he's always been on the other side of the PBC wasn't going to make it. Mm-hmm. And they kind of haven't. They've kind of haven't for a while. You know what I mean? They've been dragging this death out. One of their guys has been holding the title for fucking 3 years, right? So how about that? Let's start with that. That's 3 years of Al Heyman saying he has a champion who's not even fucking fighting. And I know he has the one fight with Benavidez, but we're talking about title defenses. We're talking about him actually being in a position where he might lose his fucking title. 3 years. Yeah. So
fighting fucking at least, or I don't even know if any of them were like mandatories, honestly, at this point. But yeah, guys that were actually
look at the stuff at the stuff they pulled at 154. No one wanted to fight Munguia. No one wanted to fight Lara. Remember when they were both brothers or at one point they're like, no, me and Lara are like brothers. We have the same trainers. Like, what the fuck, man? All right, you two assholes are brothers. Obviously, you're not gonna fight, and now he's your brother too.
Yeah.
Fuck?
It's like the PBC family. Like he's in the PBC family. Like, okay. Like your employer?
Oh, Spence is their little brother. They're not gonna fight him either. We have the same trainer. They're all hugging. Like, bro, it was gonna be a sparring match if those dudes ever did fight anyways. You think they were really gonna throw down? Especially with all Spence's injuries, I guarantee you would have been a 12-round. Remember I used to like saying those guys love the 12-round fight.
Yeah.
They love that 12-round shit over there at the PBC. No, definitely would have been a 12-round fight, Charlo and Spence. So no, I think it has lasted longer because he's holding some of these titles hostage more than he's fighting them. We know they don't fight across the table, right? It's very rare for them to sign someone to put their guy in a tough situation. It's all been in-house bullshit, all this mandatory bullshit, right? They get guys in the mandatory positions and that's who we're going to fight. We don't need to fight this guy. The days of Leonard Ellerby and Floyd telling us that Tank Davis doesn't need anyone, you guys, you need to stop buying Tank Davis's fights. I've said this to you before. I'm going to say it again. You want to see Tank versus Lomachenko versus Kambosos versus Shakur Stevenson, Garcia again, Haney. You want to see all these fights? You got to stop buying the bullshit that they're selling over there about they don't need them, that we all need Tank. Tank does whatever the fuck Tank wants. Don't buy it. Watch how fast Tank changes his tune. Because the dude's talented. We all know that. We've seen it in the Garcia fight. I gave Garcia a chance to beat him. That was one of the stupidest calls I had made in a long time.
No, I made it too, yo. I made it too.
Oh, you did it? Yeah, all right. I just don't like speaking for people.
I expected it at least more than what happened.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Right, that's it. At least you get back up, fool. Jeez.
But then the way they had a game plan, the way they knew, right? It was almost like you think he's some little thug just going in there being all, tattooed. Yeah, nah, they knew what the fuck they were doing. They had a game plan. They seen it in the very beginning. They executed, and they took his ass out. It was very good. So he's talented. The trainer's talented. So all they need to do is have a little pressure. Stop buying the bullshit. The Frank Warren fight, Frank Martin fight must not be purchased. Must not. If we're over here talking about all these other guys and how they're ducking, how the fuck does Tank get a pass like this?
Yeah. No, it's just PBC fanboys, yo. That ultimately is what it comes down to. Is that they clearly have developed. I mean, we saw it with guys like Wilder. We see it with the fucking the Charlos. And now we're seeing it with Tank. We see it with Spence. It's just they get on that bandwagon and they just they're PBC fanboys. And I'm not gonna say that some of them aren't legit because some of them have crossed the street, so to speak. And we've even seen the tally of the score between PBC and Top Rank. How many times a PBC fighter fights a Top Rank fighter, and who comes out on top more often than not. So we understand their hesitation with crossing the street and fighting someone from a different promoter, but they don't really have too much of a chance now or much of a choice now. It's like they can't not do that anymore, especially if people start to catch on to the bullshit like we're telling them to and just boycott the fuck out of these pay-per-views. Dude, that shit doesn't make more than 50K, pay-per-view buys.
No.
Like Jesus Christ. And that's, I mean, we're gonna beat this until the fucking, we're blue in the face or beat a dead horse. But the fact that it was on pay-per-view or this first, especially the first main card on Amazon Prime and not just on regular Amazon Prime, but pay-per-view with a fight like Thurman and Sue. Terrible idea. So at least they would be able to get some sort of interest right off the bat by having it on Amazon Prime, which everybody fucking already has. But now pay-per-view and you gotta pay that shit. So it's they're sinking and they're sinking lower every time they make a card. They're really banking on Tank. And if we boycott that shit at Tanks, I guess. Oh fuck, that'll be terrible, dude. That talking about nail in the coffin. Fuck.
Yeah. Yep.
That's some shit. All right. Well, we wanted to get that out to you.
It was supposed to be 30 minutes, bro.
It was supposed to be 30 minutes. Just a quick. Well, shit pops up. It's topics. It's not just the Canelo announcement, but it's the Canelo leaving PBC and Terrence leaving PBC. And that stuff. So it wasn't just that.
Terrence. Hey, Sunday, we're gonna get more into the Crawford saga because he's in a little bit of deeper waters than Canelo. Terrence Crawford don't have a market like Canelo. He doesn't have a country backing him and millions of followers in America backing him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's a problem with Crawford. We get into that Sunday.
Yeah. All right. Right on. Well, wanted to throw a quick show out to you. We thought it was going to be half an hour, but it ended up being a little bit longer. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's not as long as our normal stuff, but we will be back Sunday to, as Andrew was saying, to dig a little deeper with, Crawford and his pickle that he's kind of in right now. Thank you all so much for joining us in this relatively short video. We will see you guys on Sunday. Y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you then.